It is Wednesday, June 26th here at the West End Gun Club. Out here at the Rimfire Range this morning, and we're going to do a run through of the July 2024 NRL22 course of fire. It's 6:40. I've been out here for a good hour and 40 minutes already. Got here at 5. Spent a lot of time just getting all the targets squared away from the last match, getting stuff readjusted on my stands, brought out some props, and you saw me. I was cleaning the Vudoo a little bit, and then, sorry, this bug's flying around. And then I put some rounds through it this morning because I have a new lot of Lapua. This is Lapua Midas Plus. I'm not sure you can read the box here, but if you follow my Instagram, I was at Arizona. I was in Mesa, Arizona last week. I went there. I had an appointment on Wednesday morning at the Capstone Lapua Rimfire Performance Center. They ran this through the tunnel, went through some lots. Surprisingly enough, there wasn't really any center X that shot exceptionally well. There was one lot that was probably going to be good, but there was still a flyer in every 10-round group. So I decided to go with this Midas Plus, which also had a flyer in a 10-round group, but it seemed like it had more promise in terms of a long-term variance. So I went with the Midas Plus and went there Wednesday, placed the order Wednesday, and it delivered the following Tuesday. So less than a week, I got it. So it's pretty cool. And for those wondering, in California, I'm able to get ammo directly to me because I have my CNR FFL as well as my COE. So I'm able to do that as far as getting it delivered directly to me. And things have changed since the last time I went to the Performance Center. I think I first went in 2021, and I was able to buy it directly from them. They shipped it to me directly. I placed the order with them and paid Capstone directly. But this time around, he said, you can do that if you want to, but they have to charge you MSRP, which is going to be higher than if you went through a dealer. So they have a list of authorized dealers that they recommend for this transaction. And I went with Bruno's and Phoenix. And so I ordered for Bruno's. I was still in Arizona when I was, when I got the call back from them, because the person at Capstone put in the order, the arrangements with Bruno's, and then Bruno's called me while I was eating lunch before I was leaving Arizona, and did the transaction on the phone. Everything was squared away, and it was delivered really quickly. So pretty cool there. If you're ever wondering about doing that, like sending your rifle in or driving into Lapua to get it tested in the tunnel, it's a pretty good deal because it guarantees you that you can get ammo. Because if you go to the test center and it's a $50 fee to get it tested, they will give you the lots, that they tested, and you can pick from those lots, and then you can buy it. And so that's kind of the guaranteed way to get ammo, but you have to buy by the case. So I bought a case of ammo, and I believe the case of Midas was just under 2,100 shipped, which is, getting up there. Center X, I don't know what that's going to cost. That's probably going to be around 1,600 shipped. But so prices have just been going up. And I still think it's a good deal because people are trying to find Lapua Center X and usually can't find it in stock. And once it comes in stock, you have to be on the ball, because if a vendor has it, you got to jump on it. Otherwise, it sells out in less than a few hours. But I highly recommend it. Capstone is in Mesa, and they're also in Ohio. I don't know what city in Ohio, but they also have a center in Ohio. And a lot of people send it to Ohio because I guess Central and East Coast will send it there. Mesa is usually less traffic, I would say, but I've heard people are still waiting on a 6-month backlog as far as their appointments. I put in an appointment. I think I put in a request to make an appointment earlier in the year. Mesa was closed down for the first part of the year. And then when they reopened, I think in April, he asked me, hey, did you want to schedule now? I said, no, I want to schedule in June because I have to, I have some time off. And so that's when I did it. So I don't know why it's 6 months now, but I've been told there's a 6-month backlog for the Mesa location. And I heard Ohio is just as bad, if not worse, as far as longer wait times. Anyway, that's it for this spiel. Let's go ahead and start this run through the course of fire. The first stage we're running through is called I Know Your Ladder. 120-second part time, 12 rounds. We have a single bank of targets. We have a 2-inch and a 2.5-inch on a double hanger, 80 yards. The basic setup here is going to be a ladder with a sawhorse and a chair across on each end, and it's just kind of horizontal. No real restrictions here. You're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready, and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. So I'm guessing that wording there, I don't remember seeing that in the last course of fire. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I'm guessing they're probably trying to prevent people from gaming it by getting the rifle down like this and like actually keeping it, up on the chest. We used to use the word port arms, but I've never seen that used here, but we've always said port arms. So basically have your rifle up above your waist and like at the chest. Anyway, on the start signal, you'll build a position with your rifle bag touching one of the rungs of the ladder. Engage the large, then the small target with one shot each. Move to the next rung of the ladder and repeat for a total of 6 positions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One position may be repeated, but may not be the most recently one used. I'm a little confused here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm guessing this counts as a rung here. Gauge the large, move to the next rung of the ladder. So it doesn't say you have to go left to right or right to left. So the ladder will be collapsed with the top of the sawhorse and the bottom of the seat chair. Secure the ladder to each prop and stabilize as necessary to ensure a safe and stable prop. So I was looking at this last night, and I didn't count the number of rungs, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm guessing this can be the 6th. But we'll see how this one goes. And we have these poles here, which shouldn't be a problem. Well, this one might be. So we're going to have to figure this one out for our range. But let me go ahead and just kind of adjust this so I don't shoot the pole. And then we'll try this stage. I painted those targets black, which I probably shouldn't have because they're hard to see. But I didn't have any white paint with me today. A little wobbly this morning. I need a mag tape, don't I? Does this count as a rung? I don't know. Switch. That was it. I personally felt this stage was pretty easy. I one-bagged it. I used my tricorn from Coltac, which I've become a huge fan of in terms of a front rest. I feel like it's better than a Game Changer for a front rest. I just seem to like it, at least for the stuff we do in NRL22. In any case, as I shot it, I felt my tactic was probably, at least for this range, would have been better if I started from the left side instead of the right. And as you saw me debate whether or not we would consider this a rung, I don't know if the black one is considered a rung. I don't think it really matters. You're going to a different position, right? But I took the literal sense in terms of these rungs of the ladder, which we've always traditionally used, the silver that you can see here in the video. So I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and went back here to shoot my 6th rung. And in retrospect, based on the way the angle of the ladder is, I would have started left to right, because this is where you can get your elbow down more to your knee if you wanted to. And he just feels more stable, at least for me. So I should have just went, down, then back up 1 to this one. And I don't know, it would have felt more comfortable, but it wasn't too bad. I don't think this is going to be too difficult for most people. Again, we are shooting an upward angle at this range. So we're able to get our shorter people, such as myself, we're able to get our elbows down a little bit better because we're going up as opposed to ground level. You have to stand up taller. So that's kind of the difference here at this venue. But other than that, this is a pretty straightforward stage. I think the way we're going to be set up for the West End Gun Club, this shouldn't be too much of a problem poles in the way. And I had to move the sawhorse forward of the line. Sawhorse is kind of tilted down because the dirt is lower than the concrete, but that doesn't cause any problems as far as this stage in our range. So anyway, let's move on to the next stage in the course of fire. Next stage we're going to run through is called New Tank Trap Boogie. 120-second part time, 9 rounds. We have the single KYL, it's at 40 yards, but it has only the 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch, and the 1 inch targets. When I shoot this stage, you're going to see all 4, but I painted one black just so you know it's a no shoot. No real restrictions here. 10 points per impact, 9 points possible, of course, with the 9-round stage. You're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready, and all gear in hand, mag in action open. On the start signal, you will choose one of 4 tank trap positions and engage the large target, which is the 1 inch, then the middle target, which in this case will be the 3/4 inch with 1 shot each. So 1 inch, 3/4 inch, 1 shot each. Then go to a prone position anywhere nearby and engage a small target with 1 shot, aka the 1/4 inch. So that's 3 shots in that iteration. 2 from the tip, 1 from prone. Repeat the same sequence from 2 more unique positions on the tank trap. Available positions are the 3 tips and the center of the trap. So that being said, you'll shoot off the trap 3 times and you'll shoot prone 3 times, but you'll do 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Pretty straightforward. Just got to remember 1 inch, 3/4, 1 inch and then 3/4 inch, and then the 1/4 inch while prone. Pretty simple. Let's go and try this one out. Sun is in my eye. Barely got it. Oh, wow, that tank trap moved. Did not secure it. Bipod's in the way. Get that bipod out. Okay, 109. This stage, it was a bit more tedious than I thought it was going to be. It is a straightforward stage, but going back and forth between the tank trap and prone repeatedly does take up some time. I did have a fumble with the bipod, so I was going to shoot this tip. The bipod was in the way, kind of interfering. If you have this tip pointing outwards, it won't be a problem, I don't think. So, but I'm not going to move the tank trap right now and reorient the tank trap to have this leg pointing out. But this is how I set it up for this, and I shot it like that. I wanted to go center tip. I did one bag, used the tricorn again. I used the one bag on the center tip just to get a stable position, and so I can just judge my wind. That's why I picked the center tip. I know most people will probably just want to go with the tank trap tips itself. Sorry, the center, not the center tip, but the center of the tank trap. Most people will probably opt for all 3 tips and not the center. But I just like to get a good baseline to start off the stage. Okay, is there a wind? Do I need to hold, right? Right now, there's just a little bit. It's kind of tricky here because the wind does flow funny here. But that's why I did it this way. Grab my tricorn, used it for rear support, and reset back. So just keep in mind, depending on how your tank trap is set up at your course of fire, at your match, If you try to use this tip, you may have a problem with the bipod in the way. You don't want to have to take the bipod and fold it up because that takes time. You want to leave it fully deployed. So I highly recommend not using this rear one. If it's oriented this way such that the tip is, one of the tips is pointed towards you, I would opt to use the two forwardmost tips so the bipod does not interfere. And then you can use the center as needed, which shouldn't be a problem. That's my recommendation there. I think that's the only real tip I have for you as far as this stage is concerned. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next stage, which are all going to be in the shade. Right now, the sun is bearing down on me and I'm starting to sweat. The next stage of fire we're running through is called Franklin's Tower and Barrel, 120-second part time, 10 rounds. We have two targets. We have a 1.5 on a single hanger at 58 yards, and we have a 3-inch on a double hanger at 100 yards. No real restrictions here. We have a 55-gallon barrel and the pyramid set up here side by side, barrel on the left, pyramid on the right, facing down range. You're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the near target with one shot, starting with at the lowest left outside rung. Move to the barrel and engage the far target with one shot. Move to the next highest left outside rung and repeat, alternating between the barrel and the next rung. So rung, barrel, rung, barrel, rung, barrel, rung, barrel. If you cannot reach the two highest rungs safely, rungs may be repeated. You may not shoot more than 2 shots off a rung in a row. So basically, if you have to repeat a rung, you can't use the same rung that you shot previously. That's all they're saying. So for me, I'll probably have to not shoot this. I guess I guess I can shoot that. I don't know. We'll see. If I can't shoot this, then I'll just come down to the third one. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then skip that back down to 3. But let's try this one out. Oh, I saw it dip. I saw it dip my muzzle. It's my fault. Have to repeat 3 or one of them. I think I'm running out of time. Yep. Need to move faster. I feel this is going to be the most difficult stage in this course of fire for most people. You essentially have to take a new position for every shot. You know, once the timer goes off, you got your first position, first shot, and you're moving, second position, third position, fourth position, fifth position, sixth position, seventh position, eighth position, ninth position, 10th position. So you've got all those movements for every shot, and that takes up all that time. If you notice, I ran the tricorn. I wanted to try the tricorn. In retrospect, I probably should have just went with help me save time. It might have been easier to run like my chassis mounted bag, so I'm not trying to manipulate the bag at the same time. But I felt that probably would have given me a little bit more stability, but I feel like you need to get all your shots off. So I don't know. I think I'm going to have to use my chassis mounted, fore-end mounted bag just to save myself time, so I'm not constantly, you know, picking up, trying to get that oriented and trying to put it in the right position. And it wasn't all that stable because I was trying to, you know, manipulate with one hand the tricorn. So for this, I know earlier I said I like the tricorn for a forward rest. I guess I'll eat my words here. It probably would have been better just to have a something like the Coltag D-bag or even just a Game Changer instead for that wedge to just be easier. But I feel like, whoa, that's not secure. I think I would have been better off with this. Would have been, it's less stable, but I would have been able to get my shots off. It doesn't balance very well without my bipod. To be honest, it's tilting back a little bit. There it goes, right there. So probably would have been better this way, and I still would have had enough elevation on the barrel. Sorry, enough of a gap off the barrel to make this engagement here. So in retrospect, I should have just went with the D-bag. I tried to get fancy with the tricorn. So we'll just go with simplicity. Well, simplicity as far as just the barrel mount, chassis mounted bag. No other real recommendations here. This is going to be a difficult stage. All I can say is you need to just get into position as fast as you can. Don't dilly-dally. Make your shot and move, right? Just don't sit on it too much. Obviously, don't slap your trigger and don't like come off target too quick. Follow through, but once you follow through, just get up and go. No other real guidance here. So let's move on to the next stage in the course of fire. The next stage we're running through is called Beat It On Down the Troop Line. 120-second part-time, 10 rounds. We have 5 targets. We have a 1-inch at 60, a 1.5-inch at 70, 2-inch at 80, a 2.5-inch at 90, and 3-inch at 100. So 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Starting from 1, going to 3 inches with half-inch increments. This is the bonus time stage, so you finish with extra time on the clock, you get bonus points, and this is the prone stage. You're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready, and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, take a prone supported position and engage the targets with 1 shot each from near to far, then far to near. It's pretty straightforward. If you want to go for speed, you're going to have to know your dope. And you can holdovers. Otherwise, you can try to go ahead and adjust your elevation, but you'll still need to know your dope. The targets are fairly sized. You should be able to hold over pretty well. And but we'll see how this one goes. I'm not sure if I can see one of the targets though. I think it's actually hidden, but let me get behind the glass. We'll take a look. I may have to go out there and move it over one or lift it up off the ground a little bit, but we'll try this one out. Oh, I missed it to the left. I need to paint those white. Black is too hard. Too hard to see. That's really easy, but I missed one. This stage of fire is really easy. I did miss one. It's the 100-yard target. It's like in the shadows, and I painted the targets black because I had only black paint this morning, and I missed it to the left, which is unfortunate. Also, I didn't adjust parallax that whole time. I kept it at, I don't know what that's 60. In all honesty, I probably should have adjusted parallax to 100. I probably wouldn't have missed that target, and I would be able to see it clearer in the shadows had I done that instead of taking a kind of a bad sight pictured shot at 100. But other than that, this is pretty easy. I didn't dial. I just did my holdovers, which were on my card, 0.2, 0.5, 0.8, 1.2, 1.6. I know some people will dial the first target and then do their offsets from there. I elected not to. I just decided to hold over. It just makes it easier for me to think I'm holding over every target. So that's what I did. I didn't adjust parallax, didn't adjust my magnification, kept it at 12. Probably could have bumped it up just a little bit, just because we're in a prone position. Maybe I should have went to 15 just for fun. The targets were easy to find because the way I lined them up, just naturally, they're all in line. But other than that, other than the 100-yard target being in the shadows and painted black, there was no other issues here. So my only guidance here is just know your holdovers. Try, if you want to go for speed, just don't touch your elevation knob, don't touch your parallax, set your parallax maybe out to 100. Because parallax, if you have a 100-yard parallax, that 1 inch target at 60 shouldn't be too difficult to hit. In worst case, you just bump it back down. Like you just adjust the parallax to the extremes. Like you start off at 60 and then adjust it back to 100 and just start engaging your targets. After that, but yeah, you definitely don't want to touch your elevation. That's just too slow. You can, but I mean, you should be able to finish under time if you adjust your elevation, but I feel like it's unnecessary as long as you can do your holdovers with your reticle. But that's it for this stage. Let's move on to the last one. Last stage of fire we're running through is called Fire on the Rooftop. 120-second part time, 10 rounds. We have 2 targets. We have a 2-inch on a single at 75 yards and a 3-inch on a single hanger at 95 yards. So 75 and 95. You're going to start standing rifle at the high ready and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, you'll build a position on the side of the rooftop and engage the targets near to far with 2 shots each while keeping at least 1 foot on the ground. Repeat this engagement on the other side of the rooftop using your weak side. So your support eye, support hand, support shoulder. Then ascend the rooftop and engage the targets near to far with 1 shot each. You're going to go near to far, 2 shots each, regular side, and then switch sides of the rooftops, 2 shots near to far with your support side, and then ascend the rooftop near to far, 1 shot each. So 2, 2, 2, 2, and then 1, 1. 4 shots, 4 shots, 2 shots total for 10 shots. So you're going to obviously start on the side. If you're a righty, you're going to start on the left side. If you're a lefty, you're going to start on the right side of the rooftop. Pretty straightforward. I've already got my rifle kind of just sitting here. I already know how I'm going to shoot it. Like in my head, I knew like what bag I was going to use or I need to use for this rooftop stage. But let's go ahead and try this one out. Line up my gun. Where's the targets? Pretty easy. I feel this stage is really easy and straightforward. However, I didn't shoot it optimally. And let's talk about what could have done to improve it. First off, let's talk about the setup. I shot with Coltac D-bag on the Era 419 ARCA rail attached mount, the rail changer, and I use my Coltac, oh no, this is a WeBat, sorry, pump pillow. So I set up my bag a little bit farther forward than I normally would have because I thought, hey, why not just get a little bit more stability because, you know, the longer you have your front support out and you separate the rear, you're gonna have more stability. However, in this case, it's kind of the bad thing to do because you don't have much elevation here to get up. I guess what I'm trying to say is try to get your gun up. And so I think with this steep angle, and plus we're shooting at an upward angle, I feel like I should have just ran the bag all the way forward, as so. And then have my bag up forward, and there I can kind of get my pump pillow wedged in a little bit here under the pistol grip, or just wedge it in here in front of my butt hook on the bag rider. So that's what I could have done better. And if you were paying attention at all, I shot off the regular side here. I kind of had both feet on the ground, right? So I'm kind of blading my body. And it is what it is. I'm trying to like kind of bring my shoulder square up. And I think the better route to go was to get your gun, to get one leg onto the rooftop, because you're allowed to do that. You can have one foot on the ground, but one on the rooftop. And so I feel that would have been better, and you would have got your knee here, and you could have gotten a better, more quasi bench rest, quasi prone position, and I would have felt more comfortable. So that was the mistake I made. And then transitioning to the other side, it's just straightforward, just walk around. No need to rush. And it would have helped me out here too, just to get my body onto target better, because I was kind of struggling trying to get my gun on target. I was trying to look over my scope, trying to find the target, line up, and get in there. But had I put my left leg here, gotten on the rooftop with part of my legs here, I would have been able to square up my body better, and I would have been in a much more natural position. But I shot with both feet on the ground, which is the mistake. So my opinion is, go ahead and just shoot one leg on the rooftop, one leg on the ground, or one foot on the ground, and you can go ahead and get a better natural squared up body position, and it's going to be easier to get on target. And then from transition from this, your support side, to the top of the trap, don't have to do too much excessive movements. I kind of wanted to go more to the center, but you could have just left your gun in place, just moved your body, and then get down and already be on target, right? So that's kind of the optimizations there. But other than that, it's still a pretty straightforward stage, and you can get away with a lot of fundamental mistakes and still clean this stage. But again, my guidance to you is to go ahead and just put one foot onto the rooftop to stabilize your body, and so you can kind of get more behind the gun and square your shoulders up, which is what you want to do. Square your body up to the target, and it'll make things easier for you. Anyway, that's it for this stage. Let's clean up and wind this range vlog down. All done with the NRL22 July 2024 Course of Fire. I think this one is pretty simple except for one stage. So I would say this is easy as far as matches go. Easy, barely moderate, because of the pyramid stage. That one's going to give people a little bit of a hard time, particularly newer shooters, because of the amount of movements you need to make for every shot. But everything else seems pretty straightforward. There's nothing out of the norm here. And as far as memorization, unlike the last match, this one's a little bit easier as far as target engagements. It's pretty simple to know what you're shooting. Anyway, that's all I really have to say about this Course of Fire. There's not much really here to discuss as far as guidance, and just follow the tips that I gave you after each stage. As far as my gun, the Vudoo 360, shoots great with this Midas Plus, no issues here. I think I have a good case of ammo to work with, and it should last me quite a while, considering I have two Voodoos that I shoot. I've been shooting my Vudoo Gen 1.2 a little bit more frequently as of late, simply because I've been liking that MDT ACC chassis, Elite chassis, and it balances well, even though it's a 20-inch Bartling barrel. And I like my Vudoo 360, of course. It shoots great, and I don't know what to say about which gun I would use more often than not. I feel they both have their merit. I think the 20-inch barrel is just easier to maneuver, but the 25-inch seems, I don't know, it just feels more like a rifle. And as far as the chassis are concerned, I guess I'll probably do a video discussing the differences between the two as far as Matrix Pro versus ACC Elite. A lot of people are choosing between the two, and I honestly can't give you, I can't tell you which one to get. They both have their benefits, and they both have their deficiencies, depending on your perspective. But I like both chassis, and I could use both chassis, so I don't know if I had to pick one or the other. I honestly don't know which one I would pick, to be honest. It'd be a coin flip, and I can make both work. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. It is 9:40 already. Been out here for quite some time, almost 4 hours. Wait, 4 hours now. Been out here for 4.5 hours. So it's getting hot. So I'm gonna get out of here, get something to drink, maybe get something to eat because I haven't eaten yet. Been up since 3:30. So yeah, that's it. And I got the day off from work, so I'm probably not gonna call into my meetings. There might be one I might just listen in on for fun in the afternoon, but that's about it. Anyway, that's it for today, Wednesday, June 26th here at the West End Gun Club. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next vlog. Just wanted to show you my paper target in case anybody was wondering what it looked like at 50 yards this morning. Just a bunch of 5-round groups and a 7-round group, and it shoots pretty respectable, Midas plus from a prone position. I think it's pretty good. This one kind of opened up a little bit. I don't know about that strange vertical, but for the most part, it's all touching one another, and I think it's well within, a minute of angle. I'd have to take a photo of it and do some measurements, but I think this is pretty good as far as ammo that I can rely on for this particular rifle.